Hello everyone, I'm Chris Erickley and welcome to your Friday edition of the PE Crime Blotter. Sara Kruzan, the Riverside woman who back in 1995 was convicted of life without parole first-degree murder for killing her pimp here in Riverside. That occurred back in 1994. Today she had a settlement hearing which downgraded that charge to second-degree murder. 19 years served with the possibility of parole. She is almost to that amount of years served. I'm joined now by Press Enterprise's Rich Diatley. Rich, what do we know about the possibility of Sara now appearing before a parole board?
Well, it's going to take months at least. The agreement was just reached today. To put it in simple language, last night she wasn't eligible for parole for another 6 years. As of late this morning, she was eligible for parole right now. However, lots of people are eligible for a parole hearing, which is what this is about. Her attorney said he would do what he could to expedite that now that she's in this situation, but it still might take about 6 months or so to get her before a parole board. And of course, that's no guarantee that she will be paroled. That's only a hearing to decide whether or not she could be paroled.
And after the hearing, DA Paul Zellerbach actually met with the media to discuss the possibility of Sara getting parole.
When and if the State Department of Corrections determines she's eligible for parole and actually conducts a parole hearing, we will appear to make sure that accurate and correct information is provided to the State Parole Board, but we're not going to take a position in either support or opposition to her release on parole. We'll leave it to the sound discretion of the Parole Board to make that determination.
What is the likelihood that this case will get to the parole board before 6 months?
I'm not intimately familiar with what the California Department of Corrections does in that regard, but I would be surprised if, given the bureaucracy of the state of California, that it gets to hearing within the next 6 months.
Now, Rich, at the hearing itself, Sara appeared via teleconference, and also the brother of her pimp appeared and spoke as well.
That's right. It was an interesting court session. The judge, Gary Trambarger, faced the screen of the television set that had a video hookup to Chowchilla Prison and a mini camera on top so that he could speak with Ms. Kruzan and she back to him. The audience in the court itself couldn't, which included a row of Kruzan's family and supporters, couldn't actually see Kruzan because the interchange was between her and the judge. There also was a brief appearance by the brother of the man who was murdered in 1994, and a bit confusing in that at first the indication seemed to be that he was not opposed to the agreement, but then he later, while he talked to Trambarger in open court, started to be critical of Kruzan and saying she'd never shown any remorse for his brother's slaying, of something that was disputed outside of court by Kruzan's aunt, who was among those inside, and said that Kruzan had indeed expressed remorse, especially in a 2006 prison video that she made.
All right, Rich, thanks for joining us. That does it for your Friday edition of the PE Crime Blotter. Be sure to stay tuned right here on PE.com for the latest on this story.